And welcome back to Unidentified with Lyndall Kay.
Hey, and Sandra Smith. Okay, so we're going to talk. We're going to talk about Warsaw today. Not Warsaw, Poland, but Warsaw. A little small town in Duplin County. You ever been through there?
Many times.
When we used to vacation at the beach when I was a kid, we drove through there all the time.
Yeah, White Lake, going to White Lake,
absolutely.
same thing.
All right, so as always, here's a map of here's Warsaw on the map. So at some point, there we go. I couldn't zoom in enough. I mean, Warsaw didn't even show up on the map, right? So that's the best we got. Is that
Warsaw.
I know that red dot down there. So you got Rocky Mount, Wilson, Goldsboro, red dot, right? So that's where we're talking about, Warsaw. It is a small little town in Duplin County. In August 2012, police responded to this wreck right here. And the man that's in his driver's his ID card right there is a Mexican national name, Jorge Isaias Olonzarian Garcia. And he was driving a car in Warsaw, downtown Warsaw, not a big place, right? He had picked up another foreign national, and he ran a stop sign on East Hill Street. And a driver coming the other way with the right-of-way smashed right into him, T-boned Garcia's car, and killed the passenger that he had just picked up, right?
Wow.
So Garcia went to the hospital. They took him out to Vidic Medical Center in Greenville, and he left the hospital against doctor's orders and disappeared. And the people that he was staying with here in North Carolina say that he fled back to Mexico. So he's in the wind. They don't know where he is. Now, he is an international fugitive because they charged him with misdemeanor death by motor vehicle because he ran the stop sign, which caused the wreck, which killed his buddy.
Which killed his partner in the car.
So that warrant is outstanding for him. So they can pick him up anywhere, Interpol or whoever, if they ever come across him again.
And never find him. He's in Mexico.
Right, exactly. So that little clipping, Brittany, can you put that up one more time? The wreck and the guy's picture. That's part of one of those freelance stories I told you. Every once in a while I was writing freelance in between newspaper jobs. This was in I think it was in the, I don't know which paper it was in, some paper down at the beach. That was part of it right there. So anyway, I've been writing about this case since 2014. Happened in 2012, I've been writing about it since 2014. There's really been no hope in this case because the man who died was like I said, an unknown foreign national. He had a passport and a driver's license that were not his, that were either stolen or no, actually they were forgeries, really good forgeries that the police discovered after he died. So there's really been no hope in identifying who this guy is for all this time. But last year, Duplin County Sheriff's Office and the Warsaw Police Department got with the most respected forensic artist in the entire country. Her name is Samantha Steinberg, and you can see her right here drawing in her office down in Miami, Florida is where she's from. And we talk all the time about when it comes to identifying someone that you don't know who they are, the drawing is really important. If you can get a drawing, it's really important. And a lot of times we've seen over the years, we've looked at cases from over the years. Sometimes the drawing don't look like the person at all.
Right. Sometimes they don't.
I talked to there's a case we're going to be talking about next week on the K Files, known as the Belo murders, over in Bertie County. Somebody killed 3 or 4 people in the grocery store there. And I talked to the retired sheriff there a few years ago, and he said that the sketch, which we'll show on the K Files next week, said that the sketch was so bad that it hindered the investigation because the people, the sketch was just they felt like after they released the sketch that, this really doesn't look like our guy. So anyway, so the sketch is really important. So here is what she did of this guy. I mean, that's almost, I mean, it looks like a photograph.
Wow, it does.
Right? So a lot of times police sketches, you look at them and it's like, that don't look nothing like a human being at all. But obviously,
that one looks like a picture.
Exactly. If you knew this guy, you're going to look at that and be like, wow, that's cousin Jorge or whatever.
Yeah.
So they just released that last year. And so I don't know, other than the local newspaper, if it even made it in the local newspaper. We're the first ones that's really showing it on a broad scale to everybody. So the hope is that somebody recognizes that picture and knows who this guy is. Because, I mean, his family deserves to know what happened to him.
Absolutely.
So he is described as a Hispanic male between 25 and 35 years old. He had black hair and brown eyes. He was 6 feet tall, 6 feet 2 inches tall, and he weighed 131 pounds. All these details are important because in these unidentified cases, it's very rare that you get the exact measurements of somebody.
No, you don't.
Right.
Okay.
So I mean, we know that he was exactly 6 feet 2 inches tall, and that he weighed 131 pounds. So we know, those are details that we usually don't know when you find a skeleton in the woods or whatever. All right. So he wore a dark-colored shirt, white pants, boxer underwear, white socks, dark shoes. All nondescript, nothing sticks out there like in some of these cases. His DNA and his fingerprints are on file. Hopefully that'll lead to something someday. Anybody with any information about this, call the Duplin County Sheriff's Office. I gotta go slow with this number. 910-296-2150.
Say it again.
910-296-2150, or the Warsaw Police Department at 910-293-7816. And I really hope that this Samantha Steinberg does more drawings for us. There she is drawing somebody else. I mean, you can see even her sketches are... She released a book a little while back. She stepped away from a very lucrative artist career to do this, right?
Really?
I mean, yeah, she just decided one day that, you know what, I'm going to do this instead of being a commercial artist.
God.
And she released a book down in Miami that had all these suspect drawings in it. I mean, she has helped solve literally hundreds of crimes in the Miami-Dade area and in Florida in general. And she started branching out, doing more of these drawings for folks.
Interesting.
And so I hope that any law enforcement watching this will look her up and get, because about half of the cases here of the 120 or so unidentified bodies in North Carolina, about half of them have no picture whatsoever, no sketch, no artist rendering whatsoever.
I would think pictures are just so important.
Right, especially since a lot of these cases there is no DNA, there are no fingerprints, there is no body. The bodies were destroyed. The medical examiner's office destroyed most bodies that were found before 1990. They destroyed them, and then ironically, I don't know if it's irony or what it is. It's sad for sure that right after they destroyed all those bodies, DNA became a thing, and so it was like, wait a minute, so any bodies after 1990, most of them have a DNA profile. The possibilities there anyway, right? So I really wish that this lady would do more drawings for North Carolina, because those drawings are really good.
She's really good.
What she does,
they look like photos.
My son, who's a graphic artist up in Chicago, they start by, like, it showed the drawing that she drew. They start with a drawing and then they enter it into a computer and they start using whatever programs there are to begin to add details to them like that. So I mean, it's what they call either computer assisted drawing or whatever. It's computer assisted drawing. I don't know what it's called. Anyway, the point is that they take their natural talent, create a picture, and then they begin to add to it with the computer. We did the gentleman that got ran over in Fayetteville. we had the same kind of picture for him. We did that a few weeks ago where, I mean, these are effective pictures, I think. You know. We've shown some drawings on this show where, like, I don't think anybody could look at that picture, and even if you knew the guy, would look at that picture and think, wow, that looks like so-and-so. But hopefully we can get something done with some of these cases. Also, we talked about Leslie Kaufman early on when we started this. She's a forensic genealogist who volunteers her time. I mean, running these genealogies usually costs about $4,000.
I was going to say, they're
she volunteers her efforts to help identify people, and she's asked me to be. I put her in contact with the Rocky Mount Police Department because she wants to work on the baby John Nash case.
Oh, really?
And
That's
she wants to work that up. Yeah, she's had some success with cases with running forensic genealogy, which is a really fascinating thing. So they people who have their DNA profile online through like trying to find out whether their ancestor was, Marie Antoinette or whatever, they can take the DNA profile, match it to someone's third cousin, and then track backwards to somebody like that. And so they had a case, we talked about it on the show a few weeks, or when we first started. They had a case in Fayetteville where a woman threw a baby out on the side of the road, infant, and they tracked it back to her, and she's going to go to prison for a while for that. And so hopefully they can do that. I think we have, with that case having been solved, I believe there's 4 unidentified babies in North Carolina.
Yeah,
so one of them in Nash County, one of them in Edgecombe County, and then one other was. So hopefully we can So that's what we're looking at. We got forensic. What are solving most of these unidentified body cases is forensic genealogy, right? However, if there's no DNA, then the only way possible to solve these cases is through publicity, and that is through someone recognizing the person.
That's right.
But you got to give them something to recognize.
Yeah, sure.
So law enforcement, somebody's got to come up with some money to get some of these drawings done, so we can help identify some of these people.
Absolutely. Yes.
Yep. That's all I got.
Well, that was a good unidentified segment today.
Yes.
It's always interesting.
Next week, I do got one more thing. Next week, we're going to talk about the little girl in Northampton County. We talked about her on the K-Files before. She's like 4 to 7 years old. Remember, they looked at her DNA and figured out she'd been all over the country and all that through isotope identification, they call it. I mean, it's a new field of study too. But that's what we'll be talking about on here next week.
That sounds good. Okay. Well, stay tuned next week. We'll have more of the K-Files, and if you miss it, or somebody you know has missed it and wants to see it, don't forget it comes on Friday night at 7 o'clock. So there you go.
Is it 7 o'clock? Yeah, that's right. Yeah, you're right. Friday, and then it comes on Tuesday at 10.
Yeah, Tuesday at 10. Forgot about that one. Tuesday at 10 o'clock.
That's
so
right.
We do replay it. So, or you can always find it on YouTube.
YouTube's, yes.
All right. Thank you to Statewide Insurance Group. Thank you also to
that's right.
JP Barnes and
you weren't on here to do that at the beginning of the show.
Yes,
but we
Barnes
made
Safety and Consulting.
We made it just in time.
Yes, we did. Okay. That's all, folks. We'll see you next week.
Thank you so much.